One of the biggest dangers in ministry, business, and even mentorship is appointing people from a place of comfort, not calling. Hey, family. Welcome back to another episode of Crowned Heirs Declared. And can y'all believe that we are actually on episode 16? We are really on episode number 16, y'all. And next week, we will be ending our season. I know 17 seems like an odd number to end the season, but that is the number that God gave me to end the season. So next week, we're going to be breaking down the meaning of the number 17 and the significance of the season that I am currently in and what it all means together. But for today, let's get into this episode. Episode 16, Spirit-Led or Friendship-Fed, is about stewarding positions with humility. And let's just be honest, this is a conversation that needs to be had. It's a conversation that needs to be spoken out loud. Too many people are handing out positions based on friendship instead of God's instruction. And just as many people are accepting those positions not out of obedience, but out of the opportunity, the attention, or emotion. But here's the real truth. A position given out of comfort instead of calling won't carry the oil. For our scripture foundation for this episode, we will be coming out of the Amplified version for all three scriptures. The first scripture I have is 1 Timothy 5:22. Do not hurry to lay hands on anyone, ordaining and approving someone for ministry or an office in the church, or in reinstating expelled offenders, and thereby share in the sins of others. Keep yourself free from sin. Keep yourself free from sin. So this scripture here reminds me that we're not supposed to be appointing anyone, and we're also not supposed to accept anything that is appointed for us in a hurry. Hastily means that you're accepting something in a hurry. So we are not supposed to be hastily for anything. We are not supposed to be hastily for anything. To accept anything, to give out anything, we are supposed to take that time and take it up with God. See if it's really truly God ordained. See if it's really truly a spirit-led thing, or if it's friendship-fed. The next scripture we have is Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in and rely confidently on the Lord with all your heart, and do not rely on your own insight or understanding. In all your ways, know and acknowledge and recognize Him, and He will make your paths straight and smooth, removing obstacles that block your way. Now this one here is a popular scripture that I'm pretty sure you have heard before. I know I've read it throughout this podcast before, but the Amplified version and the way that it's broken down, it just really speaks to me. It's talking about submission to God's direction and how we avoid leaning on personal preference or popularity. So when we truly lean into God's submission, when we truly submit to God, when we truly rely on His voice and rely on His command, when we honestly obey Him and His commands, then that is how we make our path straight. That is how we make our path smooth. That is how we allow Him to remove obstacles that may block our way. That is how we avoid leaning on personal preference or even popularity. Because let's just be honest. I know us girlfriends, ladies anyway, we tend to gear towards our friends that are our closest friends. And we want to give out a position because they're our closest friend, or we want to give out something that we have, a service, because they're our closest friend. But let's just be real. We're not really gaining anything, and neither are they if we're just continuing to hand things out. So this scripture right here lets us know that we're supposed to trust and rely fully on God, obey Him, and lean into Him, truly actually submit, and understand what it is that he is calling and what it is that he is telling us to do. Now we have Colossians 3:23 through 24. Whatever you do, whatever task you may be, work from the soul. That is, put it in your very best effort, as something done for the Lord and not for men, knowing with all certainty that it is from the Lord, not from men, that you will receive the inheritance, which is your greatest reward. It is the Lord Christ whom you actually serve. So this scripture right here lets us know that even if something is free, we're supposed to treat it with excellence. We're supposed to treat it as if we're serving God and not serving man. We're supposed to steward that. If we can't steward the things that we get for free, then how can we expect him to hand us over this multi-million-dollar thing? We need to steward the free thing first, steward the thing that's placed in our lap first, and then we can ask him to hand us over something else. But then and only then will he hand over something else. We need to show him that we can steward what's handed to us first. So spirit-led versus friendship-fed. One of the biggest dangers in ministry, business, and even mentorship is appointing people from a place of comfort and not calling. 1 Timothy 5:22 tells us, do not be hasty in laying on of hands. Do not be hasty when laying your hands on someone. So basically that means don't be quick to appoint someone. Do not be quick to appoint someone just because you like them, just because you know them, or this one is a good one, just because it's convenient. Don't be fast, don't be quick, don't be in a hurry just because it's convenient. And that goes for both sides, the giver and the receiver. Before you offer someone a title or a role, pause and ask, did God tell me to entrust them with this? And before you accept an opportunity, ask yourself, am I spirit-led or ego-fed? Don't accept the position just out of the kindness of your heart. And definitely don't accept the position just because you're trying to be true to a friendship. A true friendship is going to understand when you say no because it's not God ordained. Point number 2, free does not mean casual. So I want to speak directly to my community at the moment. Speaking directly to my community. Those who are invited into something free or informal. Much like listening to a podcast or even like watching a masterclass, something that may be free, but it doesn't mean it's casual. Just because you didn't pay for it doesn't mean it didn't cost anything. Someone prayed for that space. Someone fasted. Someone definitely obeyed God to create the room that you just walked into. So steward it well. Make sure you show up on time. Make sure you catch the replays if there are any replays. Take notes. Engage with humility. And don't be the one who shows up just because it's free and then shows out with no fruit. That one is a big one. Do not be the one to show up just because it's free. When you show up, understand that you're showing up to a room that someone has prayed for. Understand that you're showing up to a space that someone has poured into. Understand that just because it doesn't have a price financially, it still has a price. It still carries a burden. It still carries weight. So when you show up to something and you think that you're just going to casually pass on by or get on through, just like in school. School is needed. School is necessary. But school is also free for children to go sometimes. So when you go into these schools and they're free and you don't have to pay, you still need to sit in the classroom and take in. You still need to steward what it is that you're taking in. Whatever it is that the teacher is giving out. You still need to steward. You still need to take notes. You still need to be on time. You still have to do all of the things, much like if you were paying for it. So why not steward it well? Once again, if you can't steward what's placed in your lap, then God's not going to give you more. If you can't steward the free thing, then why would he expect you to be able to steward something that's costly? And point number 3, honor is a posture. Honor is a posture. You can always tell who signed up because the Spirit led them to sign up. And you can always also tell who signed up just because they wanted to be included. But guess what? God sees your posture. If nobody else sees your posture, if nobody else sees your true intent, if nobody else sees the reason behind it all, God sees all and he knows all. So even if no one calls your name, he sees the one who watches the replays. He sees the one who comes in hungry and leaves filled. Honor the space. Even if it's a Zoom room, even if your mic is off and no one sees your name, God does. And that's the most important piece to it all. God sees your true posture. And when you are consistent, when you are persistent, and when you are truly honoring that space, honor is your posture. So when you are true and when you are honoring that with truth and obedience and stewardship, when you are able to embody what it is that you're taking in, whatever it is that they're pouring out, when you're able to show that you can embody that, that is what matters the most to God, is that you are taking it in and that you are appreciative of whatever it is that you're taking in. So I just want to leave you with this personal encouragement. If God has called you to something, trust and believe that he's going to elevate you in due time. But do not, please do not shortcut the process by letting people place you in a position that he did not call you to. And vice versa. Do not shortcut the process by putting people in a position that he didn't call you to put them in, or putting people in a position that you know that he didn't call them to. And don't dishonor your own destiny by being casual with something that he has invited you into. Like I said, if it's truly Spirit-led, you're going to know that those people are there for that reason. So your challenge for this week, I would like for you to write these things down. I am here because God sent me. I want to serve from a pure place. I need to steward this space well. I'm not just filling a position. I am fulfilling a purpose. So you don't need to carry a title to carry authority. You do not need to carry a title to carry authority. But what you do need is obedience, you need honor, and you need oil. Thank you so much for tuning in to Crowned Heirs Declared this week. I hope and pray that something that I have given you throughout this podcast episode has joked your spirit up, has jilted in your spirit, has made you want to move, has made you want to transition, has made you want to think back on, did I truly steward all the spaces that he placed me in? Use that time this week before we get to next week's episode. The finale, I cannot wait, but use this time this week to actually understand, actually take it to him, and be open to getting back whatever it is that he gives to you. That's the most important thing. You have to be open. Remain open and understanding at all times, and be obedient. I am T. Marie, and this has been episode 16, Spirit-Led or Friendship-Fed. And until next time, stay bold, stay rooted, and stay blessed. I love you, and I hope and pray that you have a wonderful, amazing, carefree week. May God shine his favor and his glory upon you always.